So why is Jesus referred to all the time as the Passover lamb instead of the Passover goat or the goat of God or something like that? Well, the story originates in John's Gospel in chapter 1 there, where John the Baptist is walking down the street and he says, "Hey, there's Jesus, the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world." Okay, and the next day he sees Jesus again. He's with some friends and he says, "Look, there's Jesus, the Lamb of God." Okay, but where does this come from? What does it have to do with anything? Well, it's supposed to be based on the Passover lamb story, which we find in the book of Exodus in the Old Testament. But when you open up the Old Testament to the book of Exodus, chapter 12, and you read it, you realize it doesn't have anything to do with sin or the atonement of sin. So where are they getting this correlation, this assumption? But let's go back 2,000 years before Jesus in the book of Genesis. Okay, this is chapter 22. You remember the story of God telling Abraham to take his only son Isaac and to offer him, and right before he slits his throat, an angel of the Lord stops him and says, "Now we know that you trust in the Lord." But on the way up there, we hear Isaac say, "Father, where's the lamb for the offering?" And Abraham says, "Don't worry, God will provide a lamb." And we know that the Israelites sacrificed lambs. But anyway, we're going to jump ahead again here. We're going to go up about 200 years now. There's famine in the land. And this is when Jacob and his sons, they have to go to Egypt. This is in Genesis 46. Okay, now keep in mind the Israelites sacrificed lambs, whereas the Egyptians, they worshiped lambs. What does it say in Genesis chapter 46 when they're getting ready to go to Egypt? And Jacob says to him, when the Pharaoh summons you and he asks, "What do you guys do for a living?" You tell him, "Your servants have raised livestock since your youth, both we and our fathers. Then you will be allowed to settle in the land of Goshen, because the Egyptians find shepherds detestable." Why are shepherds detestable? Because they guide sheep, lambs. And if lambs are gods, they don't need shepherds to guide them. Now we're going to get in our little time machine and we're going to jump ahead into the future another 400 years. This time we're in the book of Exodus now. They're slaves in Egypt under the Pharaoh. "Moses, go tell the Pharaoh to let my people go." And Pharaoh says, "No." So God starts sending these plagues down, right? Flies, gnats, frogs. We have like several different plagues. And something very interesting happens during the midst of these plagues. This is in Exodus chapter 8, verse 25. The Pharaoh summons Moses and Aaron. He says, "Go and sacrifice to your gods in our land." And Moses says, "No, that wouldn't be right, because the sacrifices we offer our gods are detestable to the Egyptians, and surely we would be stoned if we did such an act." Okay? They would find that just offensive. It would be like going to a foreign country or something and desecrating their national bird or their flag or something like that. God's had enough. His patience is worn thin, and in chapter 12 he says to Moses and the Israelites, "Take an unblemished lamb, keep it for 4 days, and then you're going to slaughter it and you're going to cook it. Not only are you going to cook it, but you're going to roast it so that the Egyptians can smell their puny little lamb god cooking. And then they're going to take the lamb's blood and they're going to put it on the outdoors." Now, as little children we're taught, and that's so God knows who's loyal to him and everything. God knows who's loyal to him. He doesn't need the blood. That's for our sake. That's for them to show their test of loyalty in the face of the Egyptians, just like rubbing it in their face, going, "We're going to eat your God, and we're going to rub his blood on the doors," okay, so that everyone can see it right there in plain sight. And God says, "Make sure you're dressed and ready to travel.